Hi again, everybody. So I'm talking on growth, tips to grow a healthy open source community. My name is Antinuke Kayode, and I'm a community manager at Layer5, and also a front-end lead at Shukwood Africa. So I'm going to be sharing a little bit about myself, my journey, so to say, before going into the main topic here. So I grew from a contributor in Layer5 to a community manager, right? And Layer5 is an open source community, a healthy one, open source community. And I went from, say, being consistent for 4 months, or I wasn't so consistent initially, right? So I was there. I was introduced to open source by Ruth, and she introduced me to Layer5, and I wasn't that consistent, and in between I fell into burnout, and it was massive and so bad that I wasn't able to get myself out of it on time. But by the time I got myself out of it, and I became so consistent in contributing to open source, the growth has been massive. Like in that space of 4 months, the growth was really massive. So in other words, consistency and dedication, be intentional, brought me to being a community manager at Layer5. All right, so that is about me anyways. So now let's just move to the main purpose we're gathered here. So it's building a healthy open source community, right? So to see, every product, or not so every product, but every open source project needs a community. Reason there are different people from all over the world coming to contribute to a particular project, right? So open source projects needs a community. Now, what is now an open source community? Open source community is like a gathering of different people from all over the world working together to attain just one goal. What is the goal? To make that particular product, to build it to be a better product. Take for instance, VLC. VLC is an open source product, right? And we have different people all over the world contributing to that product, enhancing it, improving it every time to bring out different version of it. That's why we have different version of VLC. So this is what open source community is, right? Yeah, combination of different people, a gathering of different from all over the world, Africa, different continents, coming together to work together in one place to achieve a common goal. That's just like the basic definition of what open source community is. So now, managing communities in open source. Let's talk about community management. So when you're talking about managing community in open source, it's not different from managing every other community, right? But for open source, for the fact that it contains different people from different backgrounds, different ethnic, different religion, it is important to take extra caution in managing these communities. Now, you say that there is a community, and I am African, and I'm not even just African, I am a Yoruba African, and then I am Nigerian, yeah, and I'm Yoruba, and then you have, even in Nigeria, you have other people, other culture, other tribes in Nigeria. Then you have another set of people in Africa. They're now bringing it up globally, continental. There are different people with different backgrounds. So you have to like understand each of these persons and take their feedback, work with each person's according to their background, right? So that's a way of managing communities in open source. Then why should community be healthy? We want to talk about open source community, and we are talking about sustainability of this community. It aids better collaboration. All right, contributing to open source, it's better collaboration in what sense? Hi, I am contributing to Layer5, yeah. Then I have someone else from, say, India also contributing. If that community is not healthy, if it's not a place where we can easily interact with each other, collaborating will not be efficient, because I'll be skeptical about sharing my ideas. I'll be like, oh, my idea might not be welcome, right? So, but when a community is healthy, it's easy for me to share my idea, to drop my insights, to tell the community my insight. Oh, this is what I think we should do, and my idea is welcome, right? So it's better collaboration when the community is very healthy. If the community is not healthy, people will each person will just be doing whatever they like. They will just be doing what anything they want to do, because nobody want to interact with another person, right? So moving on, another reason why it is important for community to be healthy is sustainability of the project. We're talking about open source sustainability, right? And community comes to be one of the important ways to sustain an open source project. Reason: sustainability is in two ways: sustainability of the project and sustainability of the people. And when you're talking about people, that is where you're talking about the community, group of people in the community, right? So sustainability of the project and the people depends on the community. If the community is healthy, or when the community is healthy, it aids the sustainability of that particular project, because people keep coming into the community. The community is a healthy place. It's a safe space to be, right? So people keep coming in and they keep contributing, and this particular project keeps getting better, and it keeps improving, and new versions keeps coming out. That is another way. That's another reason to have a healthy open source community. I hope I'm still very audible.
Yes, you are. Please go ahead. Thank you.
Right. All right. So what makes a healthy open source community? Now let's talk about the tips. So yes, my number one, when I was like trying to do this, create this slide, I kept on like going back and forth, because I'm like, okay, what should come first? Yeah, what should be the priority of, say, you want to create an open source, or you want to build an a healthy open source community? What should be the first priority? I feel like making the community a community first approach is like the ideal thing to do, right? To get a healthy open source community. Making it community first approach in the sense that let everybody be able to share their ideas. Let it not be that, oh, okay, it is just when you go to this community, you can't say anything. It's just the maintainers doing their thing, and you just have to just do whatever with the issues that is on GitHub, and you just have to submit your pull request, and that's just it. But no, let it be a place where people come in and they are able to share their thoughts. They're able to share their view, their insights about what is going on in the community, and also what is going on in the project. This is always enhancing a better product, a better, what English am I going to use? Okay, the productivity of the community. It enhances the productivity of the community, because when people gather together to share idea, as they had it with two heads is better than one. Yeah. So when people gather together to share different idea, their idea combined together, we go a very long way than just somebody just saying the rules or giving the rules every time. So making a community first approach is very, very important in building a healthy open source community. Now, David Spinks tweeted sometimes 2 weeks ago, yeah, David Spinks is the CEO, or say ex-CEO now, because he resigned last week, of CMX. CMX is like a committee for community managers. And he said that people struggle to form relationships in groups. We need one-on-one conversation to really get to know someone. I'm going to pause there, and I'm going to emphasize on people struggle to form relationships in groups, because I am like a practical example of someone that is always struggling to form relationships in groups. When I am in a group of, say, where a lot of people are, I'd rather just be quiet. I'd rather just not say anything. Reason, because I'm always saying, I'm always feeling like, what do I have to say? Like, there's nothing to hide here. I mean, everybody's just putting their own input. What do I really have to add to this? I feel like I just really used to feel down on myself, and I most times do not talk. I just don't say anything at all. But then we need a one-to-one conversation. And this one-to-one conversation comes in the sense that, take my community, for example. Lee is the CEO of my community, right? He is the kind of person that can engage in a one-to-one conversation with you. He will ask for your opinion. He will bring you to the table, and you will discuss. Like, that's the kind of person that he is, and has a very good way to build a healthy open source community. Because when you feel like, oh, my ideas are welcome, I can talk to this person, I can share my view on this particular matter, and my idea will matter. Yes, my idea will matter. Like, they'll be able to like implement what I'm talking about, or the idea that I'm bringing to the table. That's like another new level of relationship, another new level of, say, maintainer to contributor, or maintainer to community manager in the community. So we all need a one-on-one conversations with, to really get to know someone. Because if you are just in the community and you feel like, okay, this person is Bami and this other person is Ruth, and this is what they do, this is what they do, you don't really know them in depth. You don't really know what they can add to the community, or the good things, or the good resources in them that they can add to the community. You really have no idea. You don't really know the story. But when you get to talk to them one-on-one, they share insight, and you'll be like, oh, wow, so this person can do this person can say this person can provide these resources. So it is important that we have a one-on-one conversation with people in the community. Don't just assume. Assumption is wrong, right? Assumption is wrong. So we need to have a one-on-one conversation. And then, lesson for community builders: do not focus on the group experience. Create opportunities for your members to meet and talk one-on-one as much as possible, right? In this sense, community builders, say, we organize events like the past event that just ended, which is Oscar Fest, that happened in Africa, in Nigeria, basically. it's a way of bringing people together to meet and talk one-on-one. There are a lot of people that I might not have met in a very, very long time. But organizing events like this enhance meeting these people. It makes it faster because I get to meet a lot of great people, and we had a one-on-one conversation. We share ideas, and that's the important thing of creating a one-on-one conversation, allowing people to have a one-on-one conversation in the community, and organizing events, organizing opportunities that will enhance these conversations. So I'm going to move on to the next one. Now, another thing is improving the onboarding process. In a community, if, say for instance, I enter the community and I just feel like everywhere is dry, there's no, hi, welcome to our community, and there is no, hi, can we get to know you, and there is no, oh yeah, in this community, these are the resources we have, and this is what we do. I'd probably just be in that community for the longest time and not say anything, and not contribute to anything. And sometimes you just leave the community. You just have to leave. But then improving the onboarding process enhances people to when you come to a community, you feel welcome, right? People, you get there and you get a lot of, hi, you're welcome to this community, blah, 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 blah. This is what we do. This is our project. If you'd like to join this group, if you'd like to do this, it goes a long way. It makes me feel welcome. It makes me feel like I am relevant or I am needed in that community. And again, I'll be using Layer5 as another example. We do something in the community that when a new member joins, we have a special way of greeting them. We greet, hi, you're welcome to Layer5 community. We are so excited to have you join us today. And this is, you can go through our handbook, join our mailing list if you want. Join our meetings, join the newcomers meeting. We have a newcomer meeting that does onboarding for every newcomer, and we give them a walkthrough of our project, how to contribute to our project from the most technical to the least technical. That's how amazing the community is. So improving the onboarding process is really important in community. Don't always let it be both. It's Slack bots. I'll be replying newcomers when they join the community. Make it feel human. Let people know that they're interacting with other humans, not just bots. Because some communities will just like, you just see a bot to be like, hi, welcome to this community, da 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 da. But then it feels different. It feels special when an individual in the community see you join the community and they just be like, hi, you're welcome to this community. We're glad to have you here. It's a special, I have joy in me when I type that message every day, every time. When I type, hi, we are glad to have you here. I always type those messages with a smile on my face because I feel like I am glad, not like I even feel like, I am really glad for these people joining the community. That's how exciting onboarding can be. So don't let it just be bold doing the greetings of new members. Let it be human. Now we're moving to the next point, which is accepting and implementing feedback from members. I mentioned this initially when I was talking about community first approach. It is important to allow people to share their views and share their insights, give their ideas about what can be improved or what can be done in the community or on the project. Now, accepting and implementing feedback from members is also important because when things are done, when a new project or when you're launching a new project and you're in the testing period, it is important you do a demo, right? do a demo, and you allow people to share their opinion, to share their feedback about the demo. And even if now the excuse me, even if now the feedback is not really a necessity, it is still important that you take those feedback gladly, right? You don't just throw it out at them that, yo, you're just saying rubbish. Sorry for saying that anyways, that you're just saying what you're saying doesn't make sense or something like that. No, you accept the feedback gladly, and then in a polite way, you can tell them that, oh, this what you're saying is not really a necessity, or it's not something we can really implement. And if it's something you can implement, you say that too, and you implement it. That's taking feedback from projects. I mean, from members on the particular project, which can really, really go a long way for that project. And also accepting and implementing feedback in the community. Like I said, the open source community is not just like the community, right? It's like the projects and the people. And as a community manager, you're interacting with both the contributors and the maintainers, right? So you take feedbacks on how events are going on in the community. What kind of events are, if someone could just come up and be like, oh, we could do this in the community, we could add this. I remember of recent, we joined Open Force, and it was an idea from a member that, oh, Open Source is doing an hackathon, an open source hackathon, and we could join them. And it was like, oh, okay, fine, that's cool. And we sent a proposal, and that's it. We just concluded the Open Force for March. And that is just how amazing it is to get feedback from members. You don't really have to say you want to do everything by yourself or your own in the community. It has to be like a joint work. And that is the main purpose of the community. You have to collaborate, you have to work together to get to the desired goal. I hope I am still very audible, and I hope you're following me.
Yes, we are. Yeah, you're audible.
Right. Thank you. So moving on, make your project easy to contribute to. That's another tip of building a healthy open source community, is making your project easy to contribute to. I'm gonna say this. Maybe I should say this off camera, yeah, because there are some projects that you just go on GitHub and be like, oh Jesus, what is happening here? Like, you have no idea. You check the documentation. You're just confused. You just don't know what is going on, right? So it's important to make your project easy to contribute to. And making project easy to contribute to is having a well-detailed, structured documentation for the project. A well-detailed README. Your README should be well-detailed and accessible APIs, right? You don't want to use stuff that people will just be confused or be stuck, or you're using a API that is not working with one Windows XP. Sorry for that. You're working with an API that is working with Windows XP. Like, that's just like, that's not even like, I'm sure if I'm the one like wanting to contribute to that particular project, I'm just want to run away. No, I'm just going to like run away ASAP. So that's like another tip of making your project easy to contribute to. And in other sense, it also enhances the health of that community. That community is a healthy place because everyone will be able to come to your community, see your projects, and be able to contribute to it. And when you keep contributing to the project, you'll be able to stay in that particular community, and contributing to the project will not be like a hard thing. And there is research by GitHub. There's research by GitHub, and they said that 93% of people considered incomplete and outdated documentation to be a major problem. This is no lies. Of course, if your documentation is incomplete or is not well structured, or you're writing stuff that it only ends at say the version 2 of your projects, and the product is not like version 6. I mean, how am I supposed to cope with that? So like when the documentation is outdated or incomplete, it is very, very hard. It is very, very hard for me as a person, any contributor, to contribute to that project, because reaching out to maintainers can also be so hard. So if you say you want to keep reaching out to maintainer and ask them about, what am I supposed to do?
Good night, whatever time it is in your area. Greetings to you.
Sorry, I'm
so
hearing.
Hi, Rizal.
First.
Hi, Rizal. Can you hear me?
Who is your favorite?
Hi, Rizal.
Or 1 o'clock, right?
Yeah,
Who is your favorite celebrity? Type it in the chat. I want to know. I want to see.
Okay, I think we're having a difficulty. And I think that's Rizal speaking. And I'm not sure if she can hear us. Hi, Rizal, can you hear me?
Yeah, my bad. I will mute myself. I was practicing. I'm not interfering. My bad. I didn't realize that it joined me on not mute. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, that's fine. No problems. All right. I'll mute now. Sorry, Bami, you can go ahead.
All right. So now we're talking about the incomplete and outdated documentation here. So when the documentation is outdated and is incomplete, it is very, very hard for an individual to say want to contribute to that particular project or to enhance the product. So joining the community will be, what am I going to do? Like, I have access to the project, don't know what's going on in this community, right? So it is important also to get a well-detailed and up-to-date documentation. The improper documentation can make a person not want to come back. Yeah, I wouldn't agree less. Of course, improper documentation can make a person not want to come back, because if I keep working on a particular project and I am stuck, I need help, and I check out the documentation and the documentation is not up to date, outdated, or incomplete, I might just look for an alternative. And of course, there are a lot of open source organizations, there's a lot of open source community. So you might just want to like move to the next area. So it's important to make your documentation to be up to date and to be very complete. Providing a well-detailed and structured code of conduct and enforcing it. When I was talking at the beginning, talking about what open source community is, I think I made mention that it has a lot of people from different continents coming together, globally, coming together to achieve a common goal. Now we have different backgrounds, different ethnics, different religion, continent. And each of those persons has also different ways of doing their things. And then we still have female, we have male, we have other genders, right? So you're saying that if I get to a community or join a community and they're saying that because you are a female, okay, these guys are talking here, you don't have to say anything. I mean, I wouldn't want to go back to that community. Like, a community that is not accepting diversity and inclusion is not healthy. That community is not healthy. Or a community that anyone can just come out and just say things, can just say anything to anybody. That community is not healthy. And as part of the research, again, done by Google, nearly 18% of people who are active in open source community have been faced with negative interaction with one another. I'm saying that 18% is a lot. Yeah, I wouldn't want to come to a community where I want to give my impact or my input, and I will have to be like throwing punches, virtual punches. We have to be throwing virtual punches on each other. It's not a cool place. It's not a safe place to be. It's not a place I would want to stay. So I thought you just leave. So active people can just decide to not come back to the community when they know that certain things are happening in the community and it's not cool, it's not safe, violence everywhere. I wouldn't want to stay. I would just want to leave. And again, 50% of them have been a witness to negative communication between other people in open source. That's like your third eyes. you're watching on the set of persons throwing virtual punches. Again, it's not really cool. It's not a cool thing to be like. It's not a space I want to be in as an individual, because when you have spaces like that, or when you have communities like that, you won't be productive. I can't. I won't be productive because I don't want to be in a place where there's tantrums and fights and negative interactions, or say beefing with one another. And I'll be contributing into that community, to that project, or to that community. It will be so hard, because one way or the other, it's going to affect your mental health, because you'll feel like, oh, do I want to join this call today? Do I want to join this community today? Do I want to join this conversation today? Won't it end with violence? So sometimes things like this make people leave the community, make people don't want to come back to the community when they keep getting negative vibes, negative interactions with the people in the community. I wouldn't want to come back. If I joined a community and say 1 week, 2 weeks, and I'm already seeing some kind of like negative vibes, I'm definitely going to be on my heels and leave. Because again, it's not productive. You won't be productive in that kind of space. And now 21% of users said that they stopped contributing to a project because of negative interaction. That's what I just said. I wouldn't want to continue to contribute. I'd rather just leave. I mean, as much as I want to contribute to the project, as much as I want to make the project better, I also have to keep my mental health intact. So it is important that the code of conduct is well structured and is enforced. And that's something, again, that I love about Layer5. We have a code of conduct that is well followed, that a slightest going against the code of conduct, you are removed from the community immediately.
Hi, Bami. Sorry for interrupting. You have.
We don't want
you. Can you hear me, Bami? Yeah. Sorry for interrupting you. I'm so sorry, but you have like 4 minutes left, and you have very interesting questions that I really love you to answer. So just so you know, you have like 4 minutes.
Okay. I think I'm almost done. Yeah. Okay. Yes.
Okay.
Cool. So I'm almost done. So about the community, right? So I was saying that we have a well-structured code of conduct that if you go against that, you are removed from the community. And that's enforcing the code of conduct is important to making the community a healthy place. Now I have a scenario. I have the word practice scenario by Ben Belter. Ben Belter works with GitHub, and he said that community, open source community, is like a world dinner party. A world dinner party in the sense that people come from different places. You come to the party, You have the hosts ready to welcome you to the party. And that's what I said. So I'm using this as a summary. That's what I said when I said that onboarding process should be welcoming. The community should be a welcoming place. So you welcome your guests, your invited guests to the party. And invited guests, they all come with one gift or the other. And that is the ideas, the skill they're about to add to the community. So, and you all just enjoy yourself, right? The party, we all enjoy ourselves and we have fun. And that's the essence of community. People coming together from different places, different styles, different backgrounds, and coming to a particular place to contribute to a project, to make the project better. And that's the main goal of building an open source community. So in summary, I genuinely believe that building a thriving open source community, an LD open source community around projects is very, very possible. It's not an impossible thing to do. It's very, very possible. And you can do this by being 100% transparent with members and users and building a personal relationship, which I also mentioned initially, making people feel included and setting a clear code of conduct. So thank you all for joining. I have some communities that you can join. I'll definitely be sharing my slide afterwards, and you can, community managers are the best. Thank you for listening. You can connect with me on Twitter. I think I have my Twitter handle here. Yes, at Uluwabamikemi. And continue with the conversation. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Now I can take questions.
Thank you so much, Bami. That was a very good talk. I totally agree. Community managers are the best, and we all do a lot in building community.
Yeah.
So yeah, you have interesting questions. I'll read it out, and you can also look at them from the Q&A session. So
Yeah.
Samantha is asking, as a do you prefer I read out or you want to read and then
Yeah, you
answer?
can read it out.
Okay, cool. So Samantha is asking, as a non-coding member in open source communities and a new one at that, I find the platform interactions immensely confusing because it was not built for me. How would you design an onboarding process for non-coding members who do not intend to commit on GitHub or GitLab? Yeah,
right.
so then I will read the second question, so you take the two as well because of the timing, because we have like a break session. And then, so the second question from Samantha as well says 21% have stopped contributing due to negative interaction. You gave that, like one of your slides showed that.
Yeah.
And Samantha is saying that concerns me. That also concerns me as well. Is there a high prevalence of community burnout in this space? Is this occurring because of the work and the reward as mismatched, or because of actual interpersonal discussion? Yeah, so over to you, Bami.
All right. Thank you, Samantha. Coming from the first one, I am a non-coding contributor. I do not code. I do not code. So say that you are a non-coding member and you join an open source community, and it is it's always confusing. Of course, it is very, very confusing. But the basic thing is that you know what you do. Okay, for me, I am a community manager. Yeah, we have product managers, we have social media managers. You can say, oh, and you have designs, you have designers, right? You can say, okay, because these people do not code, they cannot contribute to open source, right? Everyone can contribute to open source. So knowing what you are good at is I think is the first place to start. For me, I'm a community manager, right? And I can still contribute to the community without saying I want to do something on GitHub or GitLab, right? So I contribute to the community. Just know where your strength lies, right? And you can always reach out to the maintainers and say, oh, hey, this is what I do, and I do not coding. How else can I help in contributing to this community? You can be an advocate. You can be the community advocate. You can talk about the community on social media. You can help organize events in the community. You can join in organizing events. You can host events. The basic thing is you yourself knowing what you want to do, the way you want to contribute to this particular community. Now, there's another thing that say the onboarding process. We do onboarding process, right? And you take a walkthrough of, oh, this is our project. This is how to contribute. This is what we are doing, right? In the same sense, you can always, there's always a way to say that, okay, if someone is raising that, okay, for people that are not, for folks that are not like technical, this is how you contribute. This is how you can help us move. This is how and then if the community itself did not really see that out, that, oh, for folks that are non-technical, this is how you can contribute. You as an individual, you can reach out to the maintainer and say, hi, I am a non-technical contributor. What is the best way do you think that I can contribute to this project? For us in the year 5, there is always a way to contribute as a non-technical contributors. We have project managers, product managers in our community, contributing to the community, being the community advocate, talking about the community one way or the other, spreading the gospel of the community. So I just feel like even as a non-technical person, there's always a way to contribute to open source.
Very true.
Okay, so moving on to the second one, 20% of I've stopped contributing to open source, and that concerns me. Yeah, right. And yes, the high prevalence of open source burnout, community burnout is in this case. Yes, they can be. That what I was saying when I was talking about negative interaction affecting your mental health. You just have to leave when the negative interactions are. I don't want to be somewhere where I am contributing to a particular project and then my mental health is not like, it's not okay, it's not intact. I get all the, oh God, there you go again kind of thing each time I join the community. It's not so cool. So sometimes there is burnout there because you are just stressed out. You're just tired of everything. And is this occurring because the work or the reward is mismatched? I wouldn't say that the reward or the work is mismatched. I just feel like some persons are just being they are just being themselves, right? And some things will just not go the way you plan it to be or the way you envision it to be. So sometimes it's not just about the work. The maintainers might be doing great. The maintainers might be doing amazing work. But you have contributors from different places with different backgrounds, and they all come with their own personality. I just feel like it's an individual thing, right? So it's not because of the work or the reward. It's just an individual thing. And is it because of kind of personal discussion? Maybe not, but like I said, is an individual, is a personality. If someone is violent, I don't think there's a way they can cut that violence off. Everywhere you go, you just like show the violence part of yourself. So sometimes most times is a personal thing, is an individual thing, right? I will answer that too correctly.
Yeah, thank you so much, Bami, and thank you for your session, and thank you everyone for staying put to this session as well. And we'll be having a break. Our next session starts by 12:30 p.m. Eastern time, and we're having another amazing speaker. You can wait for the next session that starts in about 8 minutes, and I'll see you right after that session starts. Thank you so much, Pammy, again. So
thank you. Bye. Thank you all for joining. Thank you. Bye.